Hey everybody, it's Andy. Happy Thursday, live office hours. Great to be here with ya. It's kind of gloomy out, but you know on Thursdays and any day of the week that you're here with me, the sun is never going down on your career. Great to see y'all. Get in, say hi. Let me look to make sure my stuff's all green. Looks pretty good. How's my team? Y'all in here? I think I might have lost some of the early chat. I got Lucky Star 225. Yes, Kara, I am only allowed to wear stripes that go this way because vertical stripes make you look skinny. And my wife says I'm losing too much weight because I'm working out too much. So yeah, so this is supposed to make me look dicker. So anyway, all right, hey, great to, if you're liking the shirt, give me a thumbs up. I don't care what you give me a thumbs up for. YouTube loves the thumbs up. I'm not above begging. Okay, get in, say hi. I think I lost a few of the chats, and probably the most important thing is that I lost the hey, I love you from my mom. So mom, hope you're here with me, and dad too. Everybody's good in our house. Hope you guys are too. Stacy's telling me she's got the chat because she's on top of stuff. So Stacy, can you feed me? Can you feed me anything before Lucky Star 225 that says, hi, Andy? Because I got Lucky Star and then Lucky Star again and then Sarah Mayer, who looks like she has a whole bunch of stuff. Let's get right into it, man. I've got as if I need it, a triple shooter today of Nespresso, espresso, and oat milk latte because I don't really put dairy into my body. All right, hey, Stace, I know we're on a 10-second delay. Yes, Stace, I got that one. That's from my mom. What's the first question? Okay, all right, that was it. All right, so I only missed my mother. Now that's really kind of not cool. Okay, well, get in, say hi. Let me know where you're from. Let me know what you do. Let me know what you need. Put some question marks in front of your questions so I can find them. If you are in the boot camp and if you are in the leadership program, let me know that because I like to know what assets you have at your disposal. And Lucky Star, let's do it. Should I take a job out of town? Been unemployed for 6 months. Job pays very well, but location is in the middle of nowhere. I don't drive, single, female, mid-30s, no kid, afraid of no social life. So this is a fantastic question. One that I wish I could just say, yes, go do it, no, do not. As your coach, Lucky Star, I wish I knew your first name, and any of you, you know that you're always welcome to ask me anything that you want, but anything that is a personal choice, I will always kick back to you, but I would always talk with you about the process I would go through to make that decision, right? That's what I think what a good coach does, because I can't tell you, well, if it was me, I would do this. I deal with a completely different history, a different load of baggage, a different desires and interests and those kind of things. So what I look at is I have my criteria. And I put a video out a while back about how to choose the right job. And a big part of making a good choice is what? Knowing what you want, asking the right questions, in this particular case, because this is an employment decision, of the employer to see whether they can satisfy it, getting all the information and making sure it's accurate. Now, in your case, I would say on my list of requirements is going to be some type of work-life balance, the compensation, the location. So depending on how badly you need the job, is going to probably supersede whether you're willing to live without maybe a fun social life or what you'd have to do to, just from an extensive standpoint, getting on planes and driving hours to see your friends, may or may not be okay for you. So I would always point you back to your requirements. Now, if you would have asked me, would it be smart to target organizations who are outside my area? I would say yes, without hesitation, because I would want you to open up the pool of possibilities, and employers are getting more comfortable with doing things remotely. In surprising fashion, I was on a coaching session last night with an individual who's in my job search coaching program, and he went from closing down his business to struggling to now 4 offers. And And the reason I bring this up is because one of those offers that he got was with an organization where there used to be a high travel component, over 50%. He said they've realized, based out of necessity and having to do things remotely, that a lot of the expense and time that they were incurring as a result of traveling is actually not needed. And so they've substantially decreased that, which made this a possibility for him. So I would say, I'm always about the art of the possible, but for you, it's about the process, your requirements, and what are your trump cards, so to speak? What are the non-negotiables? If social life, being near family and support is important to you, I tell you what, it can get lonely. Number one, job searching is lonely. Number two, if you get a job where you're not going to have much of a social life, that would be pretty unfortunate too. So I would just make sure I think through that, lucky star, and I wish upon my lucky stars for you. All right, I know that was terribly corny, but go with me, people, come on. All right, I hope that helped. Sarah Mayer went back to college later in life. Good for you, that's awesome. I obtained my BA in Human Services 2017. Still cannot get anyone to hire me. When I apply for jobs that require such degree, it asks for 3 to 5 years of experience. How is one to obtain experience if I cannot even get a career in the field? I cannot even get a job at Target when all they require is a high school diploma. I have applied for other entry-level positions at different organizations with no luck. Do you think it's because I have my BA? Should I take my BA off my resume to get my foot in the door? Okay, you have several issues here, and one of them, Sarah, is with your mindset in the way in which you look at the chicken and the egg example that you gave me, like how am I to get the experience, how am I to get the job? Not every job requires experience. You have a degree, you obviously have skills because you got the degree later in life, so I'm assuming you must have done something. What I would say to you, if I'm your coach, you come and you sit with me or you look me through the camera at our Zoom coaching session, the first thing that I would say to you is, let me see where you're applying. Let me see how you're applying. Where are you applying? How are you applying? And if you're telling me that, well, I'm applying through the applicant trashing system and I'm applying for jobs that require 3 to 5 years, I would say, stop that. So far, we're not doing anything yet. What I'm hoping to hear from you is I'm looking for opportunities where they say no experience required, or we're open to hiring recent college graduates, or we're open to hiring people and training them, or in some way, shape, or form, they're letting you know that they're welcoming of this. The second thing is you need to be targeting individuals and sending them a message that says, I have skills in this and recently completed my degree in that, and so forth. Right, I'm looking for entry-level opportunities and targeting them. So it's where you are looking, number one. How many of where you are looking? So are you giving yourself a large enough data sample where you're reaching into 100 companies, not 10? Okay, then how are you reaching into the companies? So if you're putting it in the applicant tracking system, that's not good for anybody, whether you have a PhD, a master's, or any other kind of degree. And even if you had the requisite skills, it's still a terrible route to go. So then you look at, okay, how am I targeting those individuals? Are you targeting bosses? Are you targeting even recruiters or HR people or talent acquisition, or even the general recruitment inbox is better than the applicant tracking system? So I would challenge you there. And I want to make a final point for you, and this goes for Sarah, and it goes for all of you. Never, under any circumstances, I don't care what your situation is, never dumb down your resume for anybody. Stand tall, be proud, and you, Sarah, should especially be proud because you got this degree later in life. Your job is not to dumb down yourself to fit someone else. Okay? Your job is to find the right opportunity and then upsell yourself based on all your credentials, what you bring to the table. You deserve that. You went and got that degree for a reason. It was not to go and target, so to speak, as your next job, right? And there's nothing wrong with working at Target. But what I don't want you to do is strip off your credentials so that they don't feel like, oh, well, she's going to continue to look for a job and then she's just going to leave here once she gets that job because she has credentials. I would not do that. Okay, so I would go through the 3 steps I just mentioned about what am I targeting, how many of them am I targeting, and how am I targeting them. And wait, you know what? It only took us 1 today, but this funnel here is what you all should be doing mindset-wise. You are in the biggest and baddest marketing job of your life. I want you to be a marketing machine. And so, Sarah, this is a wonderful, colorful, and pictorial way. Oh my God, this is really clashing with my shirt. Of telling you that I want you to spend most of your time up here sending your resume out, meaning sending your resume to somebody, not putting it in a system, and trying to network and boss hunt and other things of that nature. You're going to get some interactions. That is going to help you determine the adjustments you need to make. And then you get engaged, and then you work it. But you should be spending most of your time up here. So the first thing I would challenge you on is, are you actually sending your resume out enough? The other place you want to go for some additional support is my job search challenge video on my YouTube channel. We do have a 5-session deeper job search challenge that's in my job search coaching program. But if you want something for free, there's a lighter version of it. It's maybe 30 to 40 minutes. And I talk with you about what specifically job searching is. Okay, and I'm only speculating based on what you're telling me, that if you've got a degree and you got it 4 years ago and you still aren't able to get hired, I gotta believe it's somewhere in the mechanics of you bringing yourself to market. I really do. I wish you a lot of luck. I understand it's tough. You hang in there. You deserve this. Just loop the part where I kept saying you went back and got that degree for a reason. So, and you should be proud of that and never strip it off ever for the rest of your life. All right, hope that helped. Doug Milligan, my boot camper, got to know after a final interview for a position, likely my salary requirement was too high. Posted more senior role the next day, JD almost the same. Wait, gotta know after a final interview. I will tell you this on your first part. I would not speculate that that's why you gotta know. Now, even if they said your salary's too high, I'm assuming you would have said, what do you think is appropriate? Why don't you put a fair offer together for me and let me see if I'm open to that. If they said, we'd like to hire you, but you want 100 and we're only offering 90, what does that mean for you? And you say no, you should be the one saying no, not them. All right, so I have rapport with the hiring manager, worthwhile to reach out to them. I have 100% of the JD requirements. Yes, I would. I still think your first deduction is not accurate. Now, I obviously only have a few lines there, but I'm telling you, yes, I would reach out. I would also suspect that it was not your salary requirements unless you said to me, no, they said, we are not giving you this offer only because of your compensation level. I don't believe that I've ever heard that in the history of my recruitment for anybody to ever say that to any one of my candidates. So I would be surprised. Baby girl, good seeing you, my Instagram friend. By the way, I always forget to tell you this, but Instagram's my favorite platform. I have the best time on that channel. And if you like the video content, like you like the YouTube channel where you're here with me on YouTube, connect up with me on Instagram. We put out a couple of videos a day during the week, Monday through Friday, so 10 a week, that are always aimed at career development. They're usually 1 to 5 minutes, give or take. They're quick. We always have the headlines on them. I put my inspirational quotes on there, and occasionally you'll see a few. I don't know if you can see them. No, you can't because the camera cuts it off. A few pics of the dogs. Maybe me smoking a cigar every now and again. Who knows? Sunset that my wife probably took and tagged me. But would love to connect with you and connect up with me on LinkedIn. I like to be first connected to you. And if you're wondering why, I know a lot of you follow me on LinkedIn. I want to be connected to you on LinkedIn because what that does is it helps me follow you. And so I could see what you got going on. I can see what your issues are. I could see, what issues you're facing, what you're trying to do, what kind of help you need, new issues that are surfacing. And my network is obviously valuable. I have a lot of people that I'm connected to. So I would love to help you in that regard, and I would love to be connected with you directly. All right, baby girl. had interviews with 2 companies, salary came up, didn't give a comp number, I gave a range of 40 to 50K, 40 to 50K. Comp B starts at 45, got second interview tomorrow. Oh, I love how ingenious you are with the little, that should be like a license plate or something. Last salary was 50. Please give tips on how to negotiate to reach 50. Okay, this is sorry about that. Okay, baby girl and everybody, you are gonna enjoy my 7-minute video that comes out on Tuesday, which is titled, and Stacy can correct me if I am incorrect, but what to do, what to do if the salary is lower than expected. Stacy, I think it was something like that. And there were a couple of questions that you all asked me in live office hours, and we melded this video together about what you're ultimately trying to do in the interview process. I hope you watched that video, baby girl, and for everybody else, to cut to the quick, you are super close, okay, in your range. So this isn't even a great example for you, because if you get in there, meaning 40 to 50, 40, 45, 50, these are all really close. Okay, so when they connect with you and you start interviewing, you go through the process, that can fluctuate, and you certainly can negotiate 50K, which is only another 10% give or take, right? 11% give or take. And what you're ultimately trying to do from the time you get into the interviewing process to the time you get an offer and then counter offer is you're trying to change the way they think about your value and what the position can be valued at if they get the right person with the right skill set. Meaning, I might go in and I might be a hiring official. This is actually how everybody is honest in the process, meaning internally I might think, hey, that job to me should pay $40,000. Okay, and I might be willing to go as high as 45 for the right person. Then I tell that to the recruiter or the HR person. Then they meet with baby girl and they say to baby girl, 45,000 is about where the salary comes in. You look at it and you should be thinking, it's right in the zone, not even a big deal. I'm gonna get in and I'm gonna wow them. And at that moment, I'm thinking 45, why? Because in my head, I've associated the skill sets, I've associated the people I've hired before, the people on the team, what they've done, what I've paid them, and so on, okay? And if I have people who are not new to the team, okay, not new to the team, remember this is something very important. If the team is made up of individuals who have been there for a long time, that entire team is likely paid below. And by the way, I don't like the word market rate, but I'm saying in general, that team is probably being paid lower than what a lot of others could be earning at that position at other organizations. And there is a natural suppression, not with ill intent, but as they give people little raises over time, oftentimes they haven't actually seen what the market is warranting for somebody with those skills. Now that's just a side note, but the real focal point should be I need to get in and show them why I'm worth the extra 5 or 25 or 50 or whatever it might be. And you need to change the way they think about what can be done with the position, not what they were used to having done with the position. There's a big difference. When you reset their barometer and they say, oh man, I could pay 50 and get that, and somebody who has those skills with that experience, who's faster than the rest, more automated than the rest, more this and that or whatever, now all of a sudden that 5K to them is really worth it. And you have to remember this. This is what $5,000 is to an employer. $5,000 in the US is like $3,000, right? Because they're gonna get taxed on it, the corporate tax or whatever it is. And $3,000 is like $1.50 an hour. That's basically what they would pay. And they get to deduct that. Okay, so like think about that. They're gonna get taxed, right? They're gonna be able to reduce their taxes, so they're really only paying you $3,000. At 2,000 hours is $1.50 an hour. Most employers are gonna go up. They're gonna go up 5K. 10,000, right? $2.50 an hour kind of thing. Or I should say, $5 an hour, right? $3 an hour to you kind of thing. That's how you got to be thinking. Is the job worth it, or do I want the extra 5? is the individual worth it for really what's about 3 grand more, not 5 grand more? Because I'm going to get to deduct it, right? So think about that. Those are my thoughts. You need to change the way they think about what that position can be. John Marks, how do? Petaluma. Fizah Fatima. Hey, Andy, how I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. New member of the Mile Walk Academy community. Can we give Fizah a big high 10 and a huge live office hours hug, please? Recently graduated and landed with my first ever interview. Outstanding. And yes, had used your tips and guidance for resume and cover letter. Awesome. Any tips for a solid interview intro? I do. And also for proving this potential employer in the interview that how I can add value in their company. Many thanks. Okay, so let me point you, Fizah, right to, let's just make this quick. I have a video out there about building rapport in a job interview. I would go watch that. That will help you with your opener immediately within the first minutes. So how to build rapport in a job interview, I think it's titled. Maybe Stacy can drop that in the chat. And then regarding providing potential employer in the interview, how you can add value, I would definitely watch my interview playlist. There are loads of interviews, job interview videos that I have on YouTube. I mean, to me, when you are a recent college graduate, the most important thing for you is that you are looking at the foundational capabilities that will make a good person, a good employee for that role. I'm gonna give you a great example. I actually have somebody who's, I think he's 24 years old. I coach him. He's actually a VIP in my coaching program. And so he and I, we email direct back and forth. That's what the VIP package enables you to do. And so we worked on his resume, he was having no luck, and all of a sudden he not only got a job and started a new job, but now he has even more interviews coming in from places like Goldman Sachs and entertainment companies, because these were the organizations he was targeting while he was in his job search. So I was helping him through that process. And he emailed me last night and he said, I actually have an interview in the entertainment industry for this administrative support position, which I actually would like to look at. So what I said to him, he said, okay, well, Andy, give me tips. And so I said, all right, well, the first thing that I would do is you think about when you're in a support capacity in this kind of role, as an example, what are some of the character traits and skills that they're going to want for this individual? I said, okay, well, you need to be organized. You need to have great customer service to your boss or whoever you're supporting, or maybe your boss or your boss's team. But you also have to have good handling skills, because you're going to be the window into that person from the outside, right? The person's going to be getting a lot of requests for appointments, probably pitches for movies, whatever. And so, so I started taking him through these kind of things. And then I said, obviously you also want to Google what characteristics make a good executive assistant, make a good this or that. Now he's got a job in a bank right now. And he's working there. He's only like 2 weeks into his job. So I gave him that advice. I would give you the same advice, and anybody who is not sure, well, I'm kind of new to that. I'm a recent college graduate, or I'm a career changer, or I'm making a pivot. What kind of characteristics should I be highlighting? And then Fizah, so when you look at, okay, well, what are the traits of whatever that position is you're interviewing for, right? What make a good whatever it is a good whatever it is? And then start looking at, okay, well, how can I make sure I have stories and samples, examples of when I did that, how I displayed those traits. That's a great one. I wish you a lot of luck. I'm pulling for you. I hope we can all give Fizah a huge high 10 and lots of luck. That is just awesome. That's just awesome. Amanda C., how do? Interviewer asked, what is misconception your coworkers have about you and why wrong? So they're asking you to speculate why somebody is misunderstanding you. How would you respond? P.S. The do you have any reservation close has worked so well since I started doing it. Okay. I heart you for this one. Okay, I don't do this a lot. This question, people. Gold freaking star for this one. All right, so I don't know if y'all were here last week when Marie, my beloved boot camper from the other side of the pond, asked me a question. We're gonna sandwich these up because it's all the same stuff. The interviewer asked her about deal breakers, and it's a negative question. So Marie, what is it that would be a deal breaker for you in taking this job? They asked in the negative, okay? Amanda's asking, interviewer asked, what is a misconception your coworkers have about you? They asked, naturally you assume, a negative, okay? Never, under any circumstances ever, answer in the negative. Answer in, what did I say last week? In the omission or a misunderstanding to the positive. So in Marie's case, to recap that one, I said, you focus on something positive about you that would be absent in the future, or that's the deal breaker. So in Marie's case, I said to her, you tell them that, well, a deal breaker would be, I'm really customer service focused. So if the company that I was joining was not customer service focused, that would be a deal breaker for me, okay? Amanda, same thing. I'm really a this, okay? And what I've noticed is my coworkers haven't had a chance to experience that at work. So that might be a misconception on their part, but only because they have not had a chance to witness it in me. Follow me? So you talk about a positive trait, the absence of their experience with the positive trait. Every single time you are asked a negative question, you turn it into an omission. In Marie's case, it was, you don't have the trait. Now, she didn't say you are not customer service focused, right? She didn't say that to them, or I hope she didn't say that to them, right? And in Amanda's case, you're not saying that my people don't get me. You didn't say that. You don't want to say that, ever. You want to say, they haven't had a chance to see that, so they might not know how funny I am, right? Kind of thing. Like, that's the way to go. Y'all, you need to think about this stuff before you go into, or at a minimum, you need to remember, I don't care, I mean, I've been telling people, just tattoo the stuff on your forearm if you have to. Like, I don't care how you remember it. But like, you know, negative, omission, right? Like, I don't care what you do, but you gotta be wired to go that route, okay? That is a fantastic question, and it's a wonderful, it's a wonderful combination, because those questions, Marie's questions about, you have any deal breakers, and Amanda's question about misconceptions, they're pointing you in the direction of a negative, but you don't have to go there. Okay, I hope that helps, and I'm glad about the reservations question. I'm not going to go into that one here, but if all of you want to know what Amanda is talking about, oh, wait, hang on. The Hiring Prophecies book is in front of the Interview Intervention book, but let me put the plug in. I give the Interview Intervention book away free. I will ship it to you anywhere in the world for a mere $7, and you will get the hardbound, which is like a $29 book. You get the ebook, which is $8.99 alone on Amazon, or the Nooks or iBooks or whatever, and you get something that you can get nowhere else, because I took my precious time and recorded it for you, the audio book, audio version. You get all that, and you get an extra ebook, which is actually $27, called How to Interview the Employer, 75 Great Questions to Ask Before You Take Any Job. You'll never run out of questions, ever. So I would check that out. Maybe Kara can drop that in the chat. I bring that up because I go into the reservations question on how to close an interview to make sure that there were no misunderstandings during the interview. And reservations come in one of a couple of forms. They either didn't get to investigate something, and because they didn't investigate, they made an assumption that you now don't have the experience because they ran out of time and didn't ask, or they misunderstood something you said, in which case you can now fix it, or it is a reservation, and at least you know now that it is a reservation and you can dampen it. But check out the Interview Intervention book for that. It's a very, very powerful technique to make sure that you don't leave any doubt in their mind or you don't let them walk away with any false assumptions. Amanda, that's a home run, baby. Thank you for that one. Jim R. from Texas, my boot camper, hey, and Wayne's email. Hey, Andy, thoughts on using note cards in a video interview for using as a visual to the interviewer to reinforce major point stories. Same idea as to the one sitting in your cupboard. Okay, I love this. Wait, is this really obnoxious? Like my striped shirt, I'm just wondering, is this like causing you guys to get dizzy when I post the question up there and the lines go like this? Ooh, I never really thought about that. I gotta figure that one out. Okay, I would, I have mixed emotions about this because, okay, now I use this stuff with you guys. Actually, I'm just a note card fiend. This was like my swim, I don't know, the other day on the April 6th. But I'm always using these, and I use them in our videos like this because I don't know what you're gonna ask me, or if I'm doing a teaching session, it's way easier for me to just hold the note card up, get it burned in your brain, and you got it, and I'm teaching you. Okay, so I recognize that. I want to give you additional cues so that you get it. And for those of you that were in the productivity challenge that we just did, actually we wrap it up tomorrow if you want to get in the leadership program or you want to get the productivity course. I use slides because I'm teaching and we're going full out. Okay, but in an interview where I'm exchanging back and forth, I would do it a little differently. If it's just, hey, Wayne, we're gonna get together on a Zoomer and we're gonna go back and forth, I would not have note cards, okay, in that manner. If they say, hey, Wayne, we want you to pull together a blah, blah case study about this, that, and the other thing, slides, okay? I would actually, now you gotta remember, you're interviewing for a job, right? I'm taking my time, which is loaded and free to you, to teach you. I can get away with doing stuff like this, okay? And I think you guys appreciate it, and it's an extra cue. But if I'm interviewing for a job, I wouldn't have these, and I would be, if I had to give a presentation like a 30, 60, 90-day plan, or they asked me to do a case study, or they said, Andy, how are you gonna build out that, the United States and North American region for the blah, 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 I'd have a slide deck. I wouldn't just have a slide deck. I'd have a slide deck, I'd have an appendix, and I'd have written stuff out. Like, I mean, it would be to the nines. So, and by the way, maybe that's a side note for you guys as well. All y'all senior people, presentation, main presentation, appendix, so you don't get verbose, wordy, or go down into a rabbit hole where, you get hung up on something. Hey, if you're interested in diving deeper, I got an appendix, it's Appendix H. We could slide you right over to that. I could pull that up if you're interested. And by the way, for recap notes, those are in the backpack. I'll leave that with you, kind of thing. That's different. But Wayne, this is a fantastic question. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't. If it's, like I said, if it's just one, Zoom or something like this. All right, that's really good. Guys are, can we give Wayne a round of applause? And Amanda, and these are great questions. I love them. Gary, my boot camper, hey, and Aylin, did you get the mug? Can you let me know? Are we twinsy in the thing or what? So just tell me I'm ready, man. I got the shirt and the cup. Okay, so you just got to tell me. I know what the 171 of you other ones that are here have no idea what we're talking about. But what do I always tell you? Whoever has the most inside jokes wins life. All right. Hey, baby girl, you again. Many thanks. You're welcome. I'm always grateful. You're welcome. You're welcome. I'm always grateful for your guidance in finding you that September gloomy day. I feel like wherever I go, I'm serious. I'm not like being funny. Like, sun's always shining. Sun's always shining somewhere, man. And wherever I go, I'm gonna brighten up your day because if this is the only time you ever get to meet me, I want it to be a positive experience. Sherry, how do? Grace under pressure. Is it necessary to have LinkedIn Premium? Andy, for your duration of the job search. Stacy, can we do me a favor so we can get as many of these questions answered in an hour? Can you give Grace Under Pressure the video where I go into LinkedIn Premium? Jerry Salzberg. Had my first on-demand robo interview. Any specific pointers of them beyond all the great ones you've already provided? Jerry Salzberg, Stacy is going to drop in the video on the HireVue interview video that I have out there. For those of you that do not know what HireVue is, it's HireVue. Spark, Revs, and some of these other, you've heard me say this before, these one-way interviews. Folks, I wish I could disinvent it. I really do. I wish I could do that for you. It is the most awful way to interview. And let me tell you, it's not why you think. The reason I would never, under any circumstance, I don't care how big I was, as far as company and the number of people and how many people I needed to hire, I would never, ever, ever use a one-way video interview. Why? Why do you think I would never do that? Because the message it sends from an organization is you're not worth my time to talk with you about how great it would be for you to work here. No, you have to take your time out when I don't have to take my time out, and I'm going to put you in an uncomfortable position where you're not like Andy. You don't talk through the camera lens every day, right? What's that say? So I want you guys to think long and hard when you get a request for one of these. Now, it's entirely up to you if you want to do this, and go watch my HireVue video to get some pointers. The HireVue video is only about 3 to 4 minutes long, okay? I have other videos out there, like video interviewing for job seekers. That is really good to watch. I give you 20 pointers of everything I go through every time I get in front of a camera. Okay, it's everything. Where to place it, how to look, lighting, where the light goes, what the computers, how to set the computer up, all that good stuff. Okay, so you got to check that out. Check those two. Well, I've got like 3 or 4 videos out there on this. Just go to my channel and type video interview, HireVue, any of that stuff. It will come up, Jerry, and Stacy can pop one in, and pop one in here too. Aylin. Okay, Aylin, back to you. If you get the mug, text me, and then I'll wear my shirt tomorrow for you. And I'll make sure I have my mug. Come on, it's leadership time. Oh, wait, so let me, side announcement here. I just did a productivity challenge, 5 Mondays in a row in March, all the Mondays, and I built a pretty sweet productivity challenge. It's an online training course. It's got 5 nice modules, the slides, everything is in there, the tools and all that good stuff, and it's in the system. It's $300, $297. You can, if you want to buy it outright, I did a one-time special for $97. That's over. Okay, it was a 1.5 days because it's productivity. You got to do them fast. All right, but tomorrow we're reconvening because not last Monday, but the Monday before, we wrapped up the teaching sessions and now everybody's practicing. I hope they're all practicing, and we're getting together tomorrow to meet on Zoom. And we're going to pull them up on the camera, and we're going to talk to folks about their successes and their challenges, and we're going to case study this thing and brainstorm and all that good stuff. If you want to participate in that, the least expensive or most cost-effective way to do that is to jump in and try my leadership coaching program for $49 a month. And if you are in my job search bootcamp, you can try it for $39 a month. And if you have no idea where this is or how to get at it, maybe Kara could drop it in the chat. You can always email, note cards here, support@milewalk.com, and ask us. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And then you can see all the other assets that are in the leadership program. We meet every month, just about like every 4 weeks, like clockwork. And I teach my best strategies, tactics, and give you the tools. Great workbooks, a huge library of assets on everything high performance related and career development related and life enjoyment related. It's really a lot of fun. And so I gave this productivity course, this $300 course, for free to anybody who's an active member of that program. So if you want to stop by, check it out, Try it for a month. You don't like it, it's not for you. You don't feel like you would learn from these lessons, or you don't have the time to keep up or enjoy it. That's okay. No problem. I want you to get in there and try it. So I hope you take me up on that. And maybe you'll get to see me and Aylin wearing the same shirt and same mug, having the same coffee mug. So hopefully she'll get over to the post office because I had to ship it to Canada for her. Jody C., hey to you, and Gary and Clinton. How are you? Yeah, I'm feeling very nautical today. It's raining out. Uber Tuber and Bob and Hanyin, how are you doing? Keith, buddy, does it look bad to potential new employer if I'm at a senior level, tell them I would give my current company 2 weeks notice? And Keith has a trailer that says, should I give 2 but offer longer, 4 weeks if they want? Does this show loyalty and that I'm not running out of a burning building? Awesome question, my friend. Hope you're doing well. So, Keith, this is what I would do. You are a senior guy. You are instrumental in your organization. For those that don't know Keith, he's a senior guy and he's instrumental in his organization. Here's what I would do. When I'm at that level, if I'm going through an interview process, for senior level people, okay, Keith and anybody else that is senior, you should be developing such a bond with the people that you are about to work with that toward the end of the process, okay, I'm not saying put your feet up on the desk, but you should be pretty casual in your ability to interact. And if you're gonna make it work, right, and you're gonna accept this, I'm really looking forward to working with you. Hey, listen, I hope you understand. I wanna go back to my employer. Now, I can give you a tentative start date where I'm only giving them 2 weeks. I wanna see, kind of how they're feeling, and I believe I could transition certain things between 2 to 3 weeks or whatever it is, but I'd like to have some dialogue with them, and then I can confirm my start date with you. Are you comfortable with that? That's how I'd handle it. And for you, at your level, where you should be going into an organization, you should be able to have that kind of dialogue without somebody saying, oh man, Keith, come on, we need you right away. And here's the other thing. Okay, you gotta get this, because these are like really bad signs. And I'm not saying this is happening to you, Keith, but any of you senior people, if somebody says to you, no, you gotta be here in 10 days, you're gonna tell me you can't wait 5 more days for me to come? Like, what's the problem? Okay, now, if they say, well, Andy, hang on a second. There's a really key meeting this week. Well, okay, can I just come that day? Right? And then come the following week too to start the following week. I'll come to the meeting. I'll come to the meeting, whatever, and I'll take that day off of that work and I'll come to this work. And right, like you shouldn't be needing to worry about that. Now, this is different than you saying, I'm so important, I need to give my employer 6 weeks advance notice. And because, now, by the way, I'm speaking to Keith in the US here, folks, because I have other commentary for, if you're in France, you got to give 3 months. Okay, this is different. All right, so Keith in the US, if you don't need 6 weeks, okay? No one is that important. They'll replace you probably faster than that. And I know it hurts your feelings, but you know what I mean. Don't anybody feel that they're, the self-importance level doesn't need to be up here. Just, yes, you did a great job. Yes, you're instrumental. Do what's appropriate. But the longer away your start date is from the day you sign that employment offer, the less likely you show up, and that's not always your fault. Okay, sometimes the employer finds somebody else. So you don't want to do that. All right. Now, if you're in France and you got, like, it's customary to give 90 days. Now, they don't usually make you work the 90 days, but, right, you do whatever's appropriate for your country. So, but Keith happens to be in Colorado, and I would say 2 weeks for his situation. So I hope that helps, buddy. That's great. And good to see you again. Sean, how do? Tom Phillips, look at all these beautiful people here. Life with the DJ. Maureen, you are a boot camp. Great news. Reconnected with someone in my network. He was so gracious to help me connect with others in his industry and industry I haven't worked for in 8 years. Awesome. This person has opened 2 doors for me already. Have a phone call. Outstanding. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. By the way, if you are in, I didn't say this before. I mentioned about the leadership coaching program. We're meeting tomorrow. if you're in the job search coaching program, these boot campers, we meet next Friday for a private session, April 16th. But if you are in the boot camp, you can come to my leadership coaching session tomorrow. It's a gift. I gave them all the free training and this case study session tomorrow. So if you want to get in the job search boot camp, if you email support@malawalk.com and ask us for $100 off, Kara is back from vacation, and so I'm sure she would be happy to extend a little price break there for you, and you could get into the job search program and you could work it this week and then come next Friday to the coaching private group coaching session, and you can also join us tomorrow for the leadership coaching on the productivity stuff. So for any of you that are here, just email us and say, hey, I was on the live show, or I caught the live show recording and Andy was yapping about you'd give me a price break, and she'll take care of you. Is that Pavel? I think it's Pavel. How do I transition between roles in fintech startup? I am a BDR. I'm assuming you mean business development representative now, and I want to work under chief people officer. This guy is a beast, and I need new challenges. I would check out my career changer playlist. I really would. And if you are transitioning between roles in one company, then what I would also do, I mean, in this case, is I would go and I would express and I would express my interest and I would make my case. Why would you be good at this? Why are you interested in this? You need to be able to answer these. Why are you interested in this? Why would you be good at it? What's your view of what this role is? And so on. This is another thing that is really important. And Pavel, I mean, this is really good. A lot of you, and when I say a lot of you, I'm speaking in generalities, but where I get this from is coaching a lot of people, right? I've seen a lot of people, I've recruited a lot of people, I've coached a lot of people, I've placed a lot of people, I've helped a lot of people in the Mile Walk Academy, and you have visions of what you think that is. Like if I had a nickel for anybody who was a consultant or a salesperson or whatever, who said, Andy, I want to come and work with you as a recruiter at Mile Walk. Why? You seem to have it all together. You come and go as you please. You make a ton of money, right? You get all these cool companies you work with, right? You don't see anything. You need to look under the covers. There is a reason why 80% of people cannot make it 1 year in executive recruiting, not 1 year in executive recruiting. And the 20% that do, 50% of them don't make it through the next 12 months. Okay, there's reasons for this. Now, when you move from, a business development rep to go into, I don't know if you mean chief product officer or chief people officer or whatever that is, but you better make damn sure that you have a true understanding of what that's like to take a role in that area. Okay, so like when you say CPO to me, I think chief people officer, but seeing you said as a startup, it might be chief product officer. I don't even know why you'd even have all these C's in front of P's and all that stuff, but it's not you, I'm just saying the company. But just remember that. Don't assume you're gonna love it. You need to do the homework. Oh, Lisa, how are you? You got this job. Oh, beautiful. Pavel, that's great to hear. Awesome, congratulations. Andre, first time watching from Angola. Can we give Andre a big high 10 to live office hours? Great to have you, my friend. I love when people from all around the world can benefit from my battle scars, let's say. Great to have you. Jerry, I think I got that. John Marks, I'm an expert drummer in a gigging local party cover band. I do all the booking for our gigs, 3 years. Should I add as part of my resume to show outside experience or keep at the bottom as extra? John, so this is actually a great question. For any of you that have extracurriculars, here's literally the rule of thumb. If it is in relation to what you're doing or what you're seeking, you add it at the bottom in extracurriculars or volunteer or whatever. If it shows that you are building characteristics that lend itself well to what you want. So for example, if you're looking for a leadership position, it doesn't matter what it is, and you are chairman of the PTO, you're running the PTO for your kid's school, like you put that in, right? You got organization stuff, you got people handling stuff, you got all kind of parents, they're always upset. You're running nonprofit, you're sitting on a board, anything like that, you put it in, okay? But you don't play it up on your resume like in professional work experience. You highlight it and you add it. Now, if it's wholly out of bounds, like if I'm putting a resume together, I'm not gonna put marathoner on it unless I'm going to interview for like active.com or Hoka or some running store or whatever, right? It's I know some of you will say, well, Andy, it shows that I'm disciplined. I get it, but so is everybody else. Everybody's got a marathon thing in their life somewhere. Okay, so that's my view on that. Love the question, I really do. Hanya, an executive recruiter asked me not to send a thank you letter to the hiring manager directly. This is the initial phone screen. While I can figure out the hiring manager email address, should I send or should I wait until I get a follow-up? Okay, Bud, this is a fantastic question. I question why the recruiter would not want you to send a thank you email to whoever it is that you had the interview with. I would ask them, why is that? I want to understand your rationale. If he says to you, the hiring manager finds it annoying to get those thank you emails, then I would say, okay. If he says, I don't want you to communicate with anybody, I want to communicate with them, you say, would it be appropriate if I could send him a thank you email and I will copy you on it, which is what you actually should do anyway. You should copy the external recruiter and you should copy the internal recruiter. Whoever is handling you should be copied on communications with anybody who is not one of them, okay? So that's what I would do there. I find it quite odd. Now, I will tell you this. There are, actually, this is, I would say better than 50-50 on this, what I'm about to tell you. My job candidates, executive recruiter Andy, working with companies, Hanyan's my client, my candidate, I should say, sorry, interviewing with my client. I might say, Hanyan, don't send the email yet, send it to me. I would proof it. I would send it back to them and say, go with this, okay? Next time, do it again. Okay, you could take it from here kind of thing. I was that, you could say on top of it, helpful, or you could say annoying. I don't really care, but this is why we have a high success rate, right? Wouldn't you want my help? Wouldn't you want me to know how that person likes to interpret what they want to see, what goes over well with them? Then you email them and you copy me. Right? So that's what I would do. You got a recruiter doing that for you, you're in good hands. Joe Hayes. All right, HR senior manager here. Good to see you. Job interview in an hour. Good luck. Good luck. Well, I don't know when you wrote that. When did you write that? 11:04. All right. Hey, let's try to get this in. The job description seems to have 3 roles in one, including office manager. How do I ask them about my concern? You don't ask them about your concern, Joe. You ask them to break down the different responsibilities, and then you want to get an understanding of what the primary responsibilities are and what the skills are that are most important for the person to be successful in that role. If they are truly 3 different roles, don't get confused that you might think, well, that's office management and it's a little sales and it's like, I don't really know about that. And if I'm guessing it's a smaller company. Just ask. Do not get hung up on this. Okay, what are the duties? I noticed that it's wide variety. Okay, that should sound positive to them, which interests me, which is one of the reasons I'm interested. Okay, now I want to better understand, and I would also like to know in that context, what are also the most important skills, because there's a lot of various skills here. And I want to make sure I'm sharing with you insight into my background that coincide with what you need the most. That's the conversation I'm having with them. You can have that. Trust me, you can. All right, lots of luck, buddy. Hey, Stacy Munkin. I accepted, signed a job that I am satisfied with, but my dream company finally got back to me and asked for a final interview. I have a good feeling about this. Should I continue? Okay, here's what I would say. Very short answer is yes. Why? I appreciate that this is agonizing for many of you. It would be agonizing for me. Do you know what would be really agonizing, though, and even worse for you? Is to wake up every single day going, Jesus, I should have went there. I wonder what could have been. You figure out which one you want to live with. I don't want to live with the latter, okay? So I go, I interview, you can't make it work, then don't worry about it. No harm, no foul. You continue on with life. You get to the point where they love you, they're going to make you an offer, you want to go there. You go to your employer and you say, look, I really like you folks, but this is, my nirvana. I'm out of here. That's it. End of story. I wouldn't even lose sleep. I really wouldn't. You have got to make sure that you are taking care of you. I'm not saying go through life and crap on everybody. Okay, that isn't it. I'm saying, based on what you told me, that you just started a job, right? I accepted, signed a job, and wait, I don't even know that you started it. And if you haven't started it, it's even easier because the damage is worse if you get in there and you're there a month and they slow down and they let all the candidates go, right? So I go. All right, let me see if I can get, how we doing? Kara, Stacey, how we doing on time? Let me see if I can get a couple more of these in here. Irma, how are you? See if we get Irma in here. All right, hey Andy, the company asked if the company will not pay for relocation, will you relocate? The answer is yes or no. What should I choose? Okay, wait, here again. Irma, this is like bookending because we started out with, I don't know if it was Sarah or Lucky Star, maybe it was Lucky Star 225 or something like that. I cannot tell you whether you should or should not. I would say, this is me. I'm interviewing. Irma, you say to me, Andy, this is great. You're in Chicago. I'm in California. We don't pay relocation. I'm sure if we're right for each other, we'll figure it out. You get down to the end. You decide what's relocation going to cost you. Is it buried in there? Can you give me a signing bonus? Can you give me an extra back-end bonus? Can you give me higher pay? Can you whatever? Because it's a black box. Just because they say we don't pay this doesn't mean you can't call it a signing bonus. Doesn't mean you can't throw an extra 10, 20 grand on top of the salary. Doesn't mean you can't insure me a guaranteed minimum of. Right? You have to decide at the end of the day, is this amount of money worth me picking up and moving? Right? So I can't tell you that, but I look at it two ways. Number one, you need to decide, based on what I told Lucky Stars 225, you have your requirements. If getting to that location is important to you and you would move anyway, you're already there. If it's, well, I need to have the right amount of money, it's not that important to me, but I would be open to moving to that part of the country or whatever, then you get down to the end. You say, I don't know, for this amount of money, I'm not moving. It's 100, I want 120. You don't have to write me an expense check. It's 20 more thousand on my base. It's $10,000 sign-on bonus and 10,000 more on my base. Everything's negotiable. Everything's negotiable. Everything's negotiable. Always. So definitely, Irma, you art of the possible, get in there, everything's negotiable, and I don't care what they call it, you look at the total number. If that number's good enough for you, you go. If it's not, you stay. But I would not stop interviewing. So that's how I look at that. Hope that helps. Hang on, let me see. I think my team is trying to get me. C. Young, Celia, how are you? Yes, you are a boot camper. Okay, we're trying to get the whole question here to make it a little easier for me. Let me see how we do this. All right. You are a boot camper because you're a boot camper. I'm answering this dang question. I got a question about submitting work references prior to a job interview. The company asks for 4 references. Okay, no problem. However, I wanted to know if it's okay to put down a job reference that's not on the resume because I don't think the position I had was relevant to the position I applied for. So the first part is none of your references should be on your resume. So if I'm asking, I shouldn't know any of your references and I shouldn't have seen any references. Never put references on your resume ever. Ever, 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 ever. Only bad stuff can happen, number 1. Number 2, you're taking up real estate on your resume. Don't do that. Use it to sell yourself. Your resumes don't sell you. I don't care who you know. Okay, so that's the second part. Now, I think there's a third part to this question. How should I introduce a reference on the job reference form? Okay, Stacey, I know we have videos on this. I don't know where they are in the world, if they're on Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn or wherever. Can we find these for Celia? And I'm going to give a little color here. And what you need to know about references. You go out, you reach out, you boss hunt, you apply online. I don't care how you get the interview, you get the interview. On the application, it says maybe when you have to fill it in. If you fill in the application on the applicant tracking system, it might say, give me your references. Okay, you could put my name in there for all I care. Okay, so throw 4 names in, throw 3 names in, throw 2 names in, throw whatever they ask. If they say, give us supervisors, give us clients, give us customers, give us teammates, give us staff if you're a senior person or whatever, just put in anybody. Okay, then when you get into the screen, you say, I filled it in because you made me fill it in. All right, as we go through this interview process, I do not want you to call any of my references until you are about to make me an offer, okay? If you are gonna call my references, then you need to let me know first, however, moreover, whatever, as I go through the interview process and I get a better understanding of what this role entails, I will be able to give you the best references for you to call that could speak to the skills that you need to know most about what I've done, my performance in those areas, and so forth. I just grabbed 3 references based on references I've used. And because I'm interviewing, or if you are, right, I want to make sure that all of my references aren't getting all of these calls from all of these different companies, and I want to be prudent with their time. Okay, so when you're ready to go, you tell me and I will give you the 3, 4, or 10 best references you need. That's that. That's it. Never, never let a company call your references without your permission, without you making sure that you have prepped your references for what the company is going to want to know. Hey, I've been through the interview process and they're really hung up on my ability to build out the central region in the blah, blah. Okay, so when we work together and remember when I did all that and I was such a badass? Okay, you need to really jump on that, right, kind of thing. Like, you need to prep your references. And I do not want my references filling out forms. I do not want my references going into your stupid system and taking a half an hour to type stuff up. You want my references, you go call them. Okay? And then they'll call you back. And you give them, to cap this rant off, you give them the name of the person, you give them the relationship of you to the person. Andrew LaCivita, he's my career coach. I worked with him in 2021 when I was looking for a job. This so-and-so, my manager at such and such a company. They're no longer there. They're at that other company now. Here's his email, here's her phone number, whatever, and that's that. And then they can go and call them. And you should make sure that you prep your references and ask your references, give me the number you want them to call. Tell me when the best time is to reach you. They said call before 8 o'clock. They said call after 10 o'clock each day. They said never call them on a Friday. All that goes in there. Okay, so that's the skinny on that. Celia, I like never on a resume, never on a resume. And another thing about the resume, if you have references on the resume and I don't like your resume and I see your references and I look them up and I just call them and try to recruit them, like, just never do that. Never do that. All right, I know I ranted a little. You know I love you. All right, I hope that helped. All right. Next question's from Mike Rose. How you doing, buddy? An okay friend is busy moving and 2 weeks busy moving and 2 weeks at a new job with a company I want. Okay, he gave my resume to the boss and didn't seem positive, if not already in interview. Not sure what you mean there. He is busy. Do I go direct to the boss or other contact? Okay, wait. So Mike, hey buddy, Mike Rose, hope you're well, my friend. Hope all's going well, and the weather's sunny in Florida. You got a new job, you got an okay friend. If it's an okay friend, that sounds okay enough to me. I would not go to the boss directly. I would have the friend follow up with the boss. And interestingly, I don't know that I would have had him or her, you said he is busy, so I don't know that I would have had him 2 weeks into the new job. I probably would have waited 30 days because I would have wanted him to make sure that he established some credibility, he had a feel for what went over with the boss, and this friend could guide you as to, hey, this goes over well, this doesn't, and could kind of prep you a little. Then, Stacy's probably got a video. Stacy, I know I got a video out there on how to prep the reference or how to prep your referrals, and I believe you just posted that on Instagram. Maybe we can load that up in the chat for people. How when you're going to get a referral. So to Mike Rose's question, when you're going to have somebody refer you, what's all the prep work you should do with the person who's referring you? And Stacy, give me a hi that I think I saw that somewhere recently. And I think the timing's probably good. So either which way, I would go back to my friend. Now, somebody's chatting me saying, and then he added, I did the boss hunt, the hiring manager 2 months ago with no response. That's irrelevant. I wouldn't even worry about that. So I would go back to the friend. I would ask the friend to follow up. I would not go directly until the friend has followed up. And if the friend has referred your resume to the boss, I would assume that they know each other enough that the boss would say, I looked at Mike's resume and it's not a fit, or we're full at the moment, or try to get something out of that. I hope I got that one the right way. I'm assuming that your friend knows the boss or works for the boss. So that's the route I'd go. All right, I want to get this one in here too. Robin. How are you, my friend? So followed up with recruiter as you recommended on Monday. Again, she looked at the LinkedIn and still nothing. Very frustrated. It's the perfect company, role, and company. Thoughts at this point? I waited out. I did not like you're investing. I know your situation, and I'm a little pissed for you because you put that presentation together. We went through all that stuff, right? I mean, you put a lot of work into it. At a minimum, this is, okay, number one, as we all walk around in our lives, our expectations are the greatest source of our stress ever, right? We assume that people should process the world the way we do. We expect other drivers to be courteous. We expect people to call us back, all that other stuff. Okay, well, that isn't the way the world works. All right, however, Robin, your expectations after all the time you spent with this company, after I don't really care what happened to the hiring official, how they zipped out for whatever reason, I don't really care what happened to that person and why they're out. They have somebody that came in that took over. They have an HR person that can get back, and they should be communicating to you if it is extreme, hey, we're in total disarray right now. I would have no problem saying, we're in total disarray right now. So-and-so just left. I'm trying to pick this up. Or so-and-so's out on vacation. I'm dealing with this. Let me get back to you. Bye. That, to me, forget expectations for a second. That's proper etiquette, and that speaks to the kind of organization they are. Okay, so I understand that you feel it's the perfect company, but you know what I'm going to say to you? They can't be that perfect if this is the way they behave. Right? All of you need to think about that. You think they're perfect because you ain't been dating them long enough. And then they don't call you back. How perfect can they be? What kind of people, what's the line? What kind of people are these, right? Like, buddy, I move on. I'm serious. And if they call you back, they call you back. Remember this, where your energy, right? Where your thoughts go, your energy flows, all that stuff, what you concentrate on grows. You're just getting worked up. You got to move on. And if they call you back, they call you back. And when they call you back, I want to cap it off with this. Why did it take you so long? You owe me an explanation. You might not need to use those words, but I would ask for one. All right, hope that helps, buddy. All right, listen, folks. I got a whole afternoon booked of coaching sessions. I got to run. Okay, recapping really quick. If you want in the leadership program, just try it out for a month. Come tomorrow. It's going to be great. All case studies. Couple hours, 90 minutes, couple hours. Meet your fellow leaders, and it'll be a lot of fun. And then next Friday is the job search, my coaching program, where we're in the process of rebranding the boot camp, but it'll always be a boot camp. But just so you know, but that's next Friday, the private group coaching session for that group. And if you are in the job search boot camp program, we invite you to join us tomorrow. So we got all that figured out. Support at malwalk.com if you need anything. We'll give you the $100 off the boot camp if you ask Kara nicely. I try to stay out of the support queue because I always screw it up. All right, that's it, man. I got to run. Love you guys. Be cool. See you soon.